Arizona just days away from that stamp of approval on the election results after weeks of administrators fighting off attacks in the process and legal challenges in court. But now the spotlight is turning to the attorneys behind some of those lawsuits that claimed problems and abnormalities and anomalies without providing any evidence to prove it. ABC 15's Nicole Valdez is finding out if those attorneys could face consequences for those challenges that ended up falling flat.
It started as protests and chants that every vote should count. Then legal teams pounced to push through filings to question Arizona's vote.
There's this saying, everyone has a right to their day in court. And it's true to a point. You have a right to a day in court if you have a decent argument or at least some evidence that you've got a claim.
Now the attorneys behind the claims may face consequences for bringing cases lacking evidence to court.
Lawyers are not like politicians in the sense that they actually have professional obligations.
Attorney Jason Harrows argued cases before our nation's highest court.
They're not allowed to lie. They're not allowed to do things just for purposes of delay or harassment. And they're not allowed to bring cases that they know are absolute losers with no good faith arguments. Courts are taxpayer resources. We all pay for the courts. So we can't let lawyers just go into court, take up taxpayer time, take up taxpayer money, and use them to further a political campaign for no good reason.
This week, New Jersey Congressman Bill Pascrell, a Democrat, filing this complaint to the Arizona bar, accusing 4 attorneys who represented the Trump campaign of professional misconduct.
Does that letter have any real standing to encourage the bar to launch an investigation into attorneys?
Keith Swisher, legal ethics professor at the University of Arizona and member of the Arizona Bar's Ethics Advisory Group.
It's enough to letters from anyone, really, if they allege credible misconduct. The state bar or other bar authorities across the country typically are empowered to investigate at that point and to determine whether, in fact, professional misconduct occurred. And if it did, then the conversation moves from whether misconduct occurred to what the sanction should be.
That could mean consequences, anywhere from fines to suspension of their license or even disbarment. But the bar likely won't want to paint with a wide brush.
Disciplinary committees are careful. It's someone's livelihood that's at stake, right? So they are not going to just do a bad job and lump all the lawyers together here. They're going to look at the facts.
While all 3 legal challenges filed in Maricopa County were swiftly dismissed, the questions and doubt it cast on the state's election process could have lasting effects.
It does need to be, as you said, fairly serious conduct for it to go forward.
In courts, you're of course allowed to ask for evidence, ask for a trial. Things don't have to be certain. But at the same time, they can't be pure fantasy either, right? You can't abuse the court.
But the Trump campaign not the only one who filed challenges. So did the Arizona Republican Party.
Here in Maricopa County in Arizona, we actually changed the voting systems that we used. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with asking questions so that we can validate.
It'll be up to the bar to decide what to do next. And as we mentioned, all lawsuits filed in Maricopa County have since been dismissed. And 2 of the attorneys actually listed in the congressman's letter to the bar actually withdrew themselves from the Trump campaign lawsuit before it could even be heard by a judge. Now, Judge Daniel Kiley was the one to hear arguments by the Trump campaign. And he did commend attorneys on the case for, quote, an outstanding professional job in putting this case together and presenting it in just a matter of days, saying it was very well presented and you should all be commended for that. So far, no official comment from either law firms, though, in this case. In Phoenix tonight, Nicole Valdez, ABC 15, Arizona.